Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the Hike to Change channel. And I don't know how these YouTubers do it. Trying to find a quiet place to record is impossible. I'm here at Ridley Creek State Park, and between the cars and the people hiking around and all that stuff and kids playing, it's almost impossible to get a quiet spot. But we're going to give it a shot. So here we go. What's going on, everybody? I'm going to go over my pack that I'm taking with me on the Pacific Crest Trail, but before I go over that, just want to say that I picked up a new microphone. If you notice, I no longer have that lavalier mic, which was just picking up every last breath that I took. I got a shotgun mic that's now attached to my phone, attached to my tripod, so that should help with the breathing issues that everybody was hearing as I was going, recording my videos. Clean up the audio a little bit, so I'm not going to go back and reshoot them, but going forward, the audio should be cleaner. And I promise these videos are going to get better. It's just like anything. You need to practice, and you'll start getting it to, more dialed in. Still learning the editing software and things like that. So I noticed there was like a jump cut in my tent video. Again, I'm not going to go back and fix it, but it's just, I'm learning as I'm going along. So I appreciate your patience, and I promise they will get better. This video is going to be all about my pack and what I'm carrying with me on the Pacific Crest Trail. This is the Z-Packs Arcall 62-liter pack. When it comes as the base unit, there's a lot of add-ons that I added to this, but when it comes with the base unit, you only get the pack itself, obviously the back strap or the shoulder straps and the hip belt. You get the mesh pocket that's out in the front, and you get two side pockets over here on the side. That's basically what comes with the pack. Everything else that I put on here is going to be all add-ons. So when I go over the pack and show you all the different things I've added onto it, as kind of get a feel for what this pack is capable of. It's a fairly big pack, and there's reasons why I picked it. One is that it is essentially waterproof. They can't claim waterproof on their website because technically it's not. There's a little port hole in the back where if you have a hydration bladder, you can feed your drinking tube through it. So because that hole's there, it is now technically waterproof. I'm sure you could seam seal that, and then it basically would be waterproof. I even saw a video where the Shill brothers put on scuba gear and jumped into a lake with it, and they had a couple drops on the inside. It wasn't even that bad. But I'm also going to be carrying some dry sacks with me, Dyneema dry sacks for my sleeping bag and my clothes, my electronics, so I can make sure that I have redundancy built in, so no matter what, everything's going to stay dry. That's the important part. So getting into the pack itself, now if you notice I got my trekking poles on the side here, and the reason I have that is because one of the additions I had was the ice axe loops. So when you're going through the Sierras, if you didn't know, you should carry an ice axe with you because you might have to self-arrest if you slip and fall. But when you're not using it, you carry it around, it's an ice axe. I already packed it away and gave it to my sister so she can mail it out to me, so I don't have it with me. So trekking poles, just imagine that that's what they are. But adding in a strap here and a strap down at the bottom here, you slip your ice axe in, you do a flip, and then you feed the top through here, and that keeps it from moving around, and it keeps it safe so we don't have to worry about poking in anybody or anybody getting hurt by it. Another thing I added was this V-straps. Now, the pack normally comes with one single strap that goes over the top so you can cinch everything down at the top. I paid a little extra and got the V-strap. So basically it has two straps feeding into a V formation. The reason I did that is because, again, in the Sierras you have to carry a bear canister, and I wanted the ability to be able to secure it on the top of my pack as opposed to inside my pack, and I just thought it'd be sturdier with the V-straps on there because it'll fit in the two channels on there, clip it down, and it shouldn't go anywhere. This pack is well, hold on, let me get rid of these trekking poles here real quick, make this a little bit easier. So again, same thing with the ice axe, you just have this little string over here, pull it out, good to go. And a little bit of wind, so I'm just gonna put these down here. So again, this is a huge mesh pocket on the front. The reason I like this is for quick access gear, and so if something gets wet and I want to dry it out, I can put it in here while I'm hiking and the sun or warmth of the day can dry it out. I also added these two little side pouches here. And the reason I added that is, again, for quick access. Like, I'm probably going to put my cook kit stuff in here, and then my water filtration stuff in here. On the side pockets down here is where I'm going to be carrying my water bottles. I plan on carrying two 1.5 liter smart water bottles. I'm going 1.5 liters, so I drink a lot. I'm a bigger guy, so I get dehydrated pretty quick. So I wanted to make sure I had room to be able to put those 1.5 liter bottles in here. I keep saying I'm sorry about that. I'm still learning how to make these videos, and how I should probably start writing stuff down is basically what it should boil down to. I have some notes, but I don't write out everything I'm doing. That's why you get a lot of ums. So again, this pack is basically, oh, one of the other things I added. So this is basically a roll top pack, and I added these straps to the side here, because what happens is when I unhook these straps, it's a roll top. It's basically like a big ass dry bag. So I unroll it, and that's how you get into the pack. What I didn't realize at the time when I ordered it is that because I have these side pouches right here, those straps actually are kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. You have to reach under and kind of adjust them that way. So the original way that the pack goes is you roll it up, and you just clip it up top. And odds are, that's how I'm going to do it on the trail. I was worried about my bear canister with this up here, but honestly, it'll lay flat. It'll be fine. So I'm probably going to take off those little side straps. Not really necessary. So the other thing is on the front here, you have these two locks here that I use to, I'm going to be carrying my Z seat. Everybody calls it an ass pad. Basically something to sit on so you know, your butt doesn't hurt when you're sitting on the ground. The only thing I did differently was I actually crossed them, because this is so tiny. I wanted it to be able to hold, so I crossed them over so it would hold better. So, you see what I mean? And that was the other thing. I could use that tag right there to strap it in a little bit better. But as you can see, it's just two little cords right down here. If my tent's wet, my outer shell of my tent, I can always put that in here and let it dry out through the course of the day. So these are just handy to have. They come with the pack. That was one of the other things that actually came with the pack. Around. So one of the reasons I got this pack is because I have an Osprey pack that I really like. It's just too heavy. So what Osprey has is they have this mesh system which actually keeps the backpack off your back. It keeps this gap back here, and what that does is allow ventilation. A little bit more of a comfortable ride. And since I was familiar with that and I like that, I wanted to keep that, so that's what I did. And this is the only pack that I saw that was ultralight that had this. So one of the main reasons I picked this pack is because of the hip belts. The hip belt, first off, it goes up to 53 inches, and I have a little mod on that I'll show you later. I don't have it on there now, but I'll show you before I pack it away. But the hip belts are interchangeable. And why is that important? Is because you're going to be constantly, well, at least I will be constantly losing a lot of weight. I'm probably going to go down at least a hip belt, maybe even two if I make it all the way to the end. Most ultralight packs, they don't have interchangeable hip belts. So once you reach the point where your hip belt's tension is as tight as you can get it, and it's still too loose, that takes all the support out of the pack. Because the hip belts are what actually hold the weight. They hold it around your hips, and that's what supports the weight of the pack. So once those get too loose and you can no longer tighten it anymore, you lose all the support of the pack, and then you're putting everything on your shoulder straps. If you put everything on your shoulder straps, you're going to end up hurting your back or your shoulder, and that's, I just want to avoid all that. So because this is interchangeable, if I get on a hip belt or two, I would much rather spend the money on a $30 to $50 new hip belt than go out and spend $300 to $400 on a new pack. That's one of the main reasons why I got this pack. Now, what I did add is I added a lumbar pad. Let's see what's up here. It's going to be a little tough to see because it's black with the lighting, but there's an extra pad in there that doesn't come with it that I added on, so I get a little bit more cushion against the small of my back. So it doesn't, hopefully won't chafe as much. It'll be a little bit more padded. I also added shoulder pad straps, a little extra padding on the inside, just for a more comfortable ride. Now, this pack does support up to 40 pounds of weight. It can go more. You're not going to break it if you do 42 or 44, but I wanted those extra pads because when I do have to carry a lot of food and water, like especially like through the Sierras, I wanted to be able to support the weight and still have that padding and get as comfortable as possible. One of the other things I added on here is one hip belt pocket. So let me see if I can put this in here. So this hip belt pocket is made of Dyneema. So this is where I'm going to put things like my chapstick, my, what else am I going to put in here? Like my suntan lotion, things like that, just things I need quick access to. They're roomy, they're not easy to open. The other packs I've had, you can open one-handed. I can't really open this one-handed, but since I'm using stuff that I'm not going to be using constantly, I'm going to need every few hours or so. It's not a big deal, and I only really need one of them because I got something else added on this pack that I'm about to show you right now. All right, so one of the other things I added on this pack is the multi-pack. This is just think of it as a fanny pack, because there does come with 4 straps, so you can arrange it and use it as a fanny pack in town, so you don't have to carry your main pack around when you go into the store shopping or things like that. You can throw the items that you need right in here. I can fit a little water bottle in here, my wallet, all that kind of stuff when I'm hiking around town trying to get errands done. The cool thing about this pack is it actually comes with straps that I have attached to my pack right now, and I can just clip it on like this, clip it on like this, and now it's actually part of my pack. So that would actually sit right about here as I'm hiking around. And I can keep things in here like my phone, which I'm using as my camera, my microphone, my tripod, some snacks, things like that. It's just things I want quick access to that I'm probably going to be using a fair amount. I like having this accessibility right here. I think this is actually going to be a really good tool to use out on the trail. I think I'm going to be using this a lot. The other thing is that the chest strap that comes with the pack is just a touch too tight. Once I start losing weight, it should fit fine. But to start out with, I'm basically going to be using this as my chest strap. The chest strap just kind of keeps the shoulder strap, the shoulder pads, where you know, close to where you want them, so they're not moving around and sliding all over the place. And that's why I got this multi-pack. I really wanted it for the convenience and the use. It's 3.5 liters. Again, hold up to 3.5 liters of stuff. So if I'm hiking around town, I can throw a water bottle in there, throw my wallet in there, things like that, and I'll have quick and easy access to it. The other thing is that if you arrange the straps, which I'm probably not going to do, but it has the availability, I can throw it on top and use it as the brain of the pack. The brain of the pack is basically just it's basically this attached to the top, so you can have extra storage for your bag. I'm probably not going to put it there. I'm probably just going to use it across my chest. I think it'll be more comfortable there, and it'll take less weight off my back and kind of balance things a little bit. And that's one of the things I really like about it. Going more into the pack, one of the other reasons why I like this pack is because this comes standard with load lifters. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with load lifters they're attached to your shoulder straps. So once you get everything on, you're all tightened up, you got your shoulder pads on, your shoulder straps on, you got your hip belt on, you're ready to go. What you do is you take these and you tighten these up, and that actually moves the pack closer to your back, which will kind of help disperse the weight a little bit better and keep it directed towards your hips. I've used packs that don't have these, I've used packs that do have these, and I prefer to have load lifters. I think they're important, and I wouldn't get a pack without them, to be quite honest. Maybe in the future, when I'm carrying less gear, I can get away with that, but for right now, because I'm going to be carrying a fair amount of weight due to other equipment I have to carry, because I have to carry my CPAP gear as well, I wanted the ability to be able to adjust my load as much as possible. Alright, now coming back to the hip belt again, there's another thing I wanted to show you guys, is that these hip belts actually have a double, let's see, it's kind of tough to show, it has a double strap system. So you have your main buckle, and it has 2 straps coming off it with 2 different tensioners. What that helps to do is, when I put my hip belt on, I got a nice big round belly. You can cinch it basically top and bottom, so I can cinch it around the curve of my stomach, which will make it a lot more secure and a lot more comfortable. I've used other hip belts where it's just a single strap and they work, but I just, you know, with having a gut, it just doesn't feel that great. So, and I've tried this out and I think it feels very comfortable. Now, the one thing that I had a problem with is that their 2XL belt is a 53-inch belt. I'm just a little bit over that. I could close it, but it wasn't very comfortable. So as a little hack, what I ended up doing is I ended up going on Z-Pack's website, and they actually sell a lot of accessories for this pack. One of the things they sell is the clip. This clip right here is this clip right here. It's the 1-inch dual adjustable clip. And that way what I can do is I can add it right onto my hip belt. And now I can extend my hip belt out. Now, sorry, it's not cut down to size, but basically they didn't have the straps, so I just went to Joann Fabrics. I think it's just called Joann's now, and they had the 1-inch strap, which is exactly what I needed. I just got to cut it down to size. So now I have an extendable hip belt that can go gigantic. I mean, if I really rip this thing out, I mean, geez, I don't know who would need all that. So I'm going to cut this down and make it fit me better, but that's just a little gear hack. So if you're a bigger hiker and you're worried about getting this because the hip belt might be too tight for you, it might not fit you correctly, they sell them, like I said, it's the 1-inch dual just clips, and that will absolutely clip into these hip belts. You buy a 1-inch strap to go with it, and you can adjust it as wide as you want. I've already used it, walked around with it. Works very well. It's very comfortable, rides well. I don't have any problems with that extra extension, and it actually helps a lot. So I can size it up, clip it in the middle, and then use those dual straps to kind of snug it around my belly. And it's probably the most comfortable ride I've had on any pack so far. So that was just a little gear hack that I had to do to make sure this pack fit me well. So that's pretty much the whole pack. This thing is super light. I'll post the weight that I have on my scale and what it actually is on the website, somewhere over here or over here. But my scale is going to be different than theirs because of all the add-ons I had. It adds more weight to it. So they'll have the base weight on there for my medium torso bag with the double XL hip belt, so it'll give me a base weight for that. But then I added all these add-ons, so it actually jumps it up. So that's all I have about this pack, and I will talk to everybody shortly. Have a good one. And then your hip and shoulder pads, and there goes the truck. So we're just going to stop right there. Of course, they waited until I started recording things dry, like my sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and things like that, because you want redundancy. You want to make sure cars. Rest, I am carrying some extra dry sacks with me. And here comes another car. So much for the public park. But I think this is going to really help me out. The other thing is the chest